What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Primetime Sports Podcast, hosted by Joey Lowry. So today is a very special day in the NBA. We have the Boston Celtics traveling and playing the Los Angeles Clippers in LA. Big games, a preview of what I think will be the NBA Finals matchup this season. It was my prediction before the season began, before the James Harden trade, after the James Harden trade, and it's still my prediction now. I think that's what the NBA Finals will come out to be. Celtics versus the Clippers, so a big matchup today. The Clippers have figured things out as of late, 9-1 in the last 10 games. They did have their first loss after a 9-game win streak. They did lose on Thursday night. Tough loss to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City had the rest advantage, also a younger team. The Clippers didn't have Kawhi Leonard, and the Clippers were also on the road in that one. They lost the game by 19 points. Good to see some of the younger guys get some minutes at the end, though. Bones Hyland did get a couple shots up at the end that he made. Hopefully he gets some more minutes at some point the rest of the season. But a big game, though, today. Celtics-Clippers, two top offenses going at it. The Celtics averaging 119 points per game, which is sixth best in the NBA. As for the Clippers, they're at 117 points per game, which is ninth best in the NBA. The Clippers have been great defensively with 8.4 steals per game, which is fourth best in the NBA. Just 12.5 turnovers per game for the Clippers, which is seventh best in the NBA. The Celtics have been great with blocks, 6.3 blocks per game, which is fourth best in the NBA. Both teams shoot the three-pointer very well, 38% for the year for the Celtics, which is third best. The Clippers are 37.5%, which is fifth best. And both teams are in the top 7 in the NBA in free throw percentage. So it's going to be a great matchup. The Celtics are at 140.5 for efficiency, which is fifth best in the NBA. The Clippers are at 137.7, which is eighth best. So it's a great matchup both ways. A lot of firepower on each side. Unfortunately, there are some guys missing for each team today. No Kawhi Leonard for the second game in a row. That's obviously a big loss for the Clippers. If the Clippers want to win the NBA Finals, the reality is Kawhi Leonard has to be the best player on the floor every single night when the playoffs roll around. I have trust in this Clippers team with James Harden, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook to get a win today without Kawhi Leonard. But to win a series, the Clippers need Kawhi Leonard. They need Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard needs to be the best player on the floor if the Clippers want to get to where they want to get to by the end of the season. So no Kawhi Leonard is a struggle today, but I still have faith in this team. And as long as Kawhi Leonard is resting up and getting healthy and it's not really a long-term injury, then I'm fine with it. You might as well play it safe. Just make sure it doesn't miss much more time. As for the Celtics, they're not going to have Kristaps Porzingis today, which is obviously a big loss for them. So that's obviously a loss on offense, then obviously on defense as well. But Porzingis has been great on the offensive end. Sometimes the game plan is just centered around Porzingis because it's really tough to cover him because he can shoot threes. Also can beat you in the paint just getting some offensive rebounds. He will be out of today's game, though, with a left ankle sprain. And then Luke Cornett is out as well with a left adductor strain. So that's another loss, another guy that's in the rotation of the Celtics that won't be there. So two big men are out for the Celtics today, which I imagine that means that Ivica Zubac would have a huge game today for the Clippers in the paint. I'm expecting him to have a double-double in today's matchup. The Celtics will have Jason Tatum. He was originally questionable with the left ankle sprain, but it looks like he will be playing. So the Celtics will be without two players that are in their rotation, Luke Cornett and Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis is obviously a big loss. And then the Clippers are without Kawhi Leonard, which is the biggest loss in this game, I would say, considering how important he is to this Clippers team and how great he's been over the last 8 to 10 games. With all that being said, though, I still have faith in this Clippers team. They were 1-1 versus Celtics last year. Two exciting games. The Clippers won their game at home by about 20 points. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George combined for about 50 points together, if I remember right. It was obviously a big win, and the Clippers shot the ball very well that night. The Celtics love shooting threes, so the Clippers have to find a way to defend around the arc today. Make sure they're not giving up too many of those perimeter jump shots and three-pointers for the Celtics. But I think it's going to be a good game. No Porzingis means that the Celtics are going to have some struggles in the paint trying to stop Ivica Zubac. And also trying to stop Daniel Theis, who's been very good with the Clippers. The Clippers are actually 14-4 since getting Daniel Theis, which is very impressive. I know they just lost their win streak. 9-game win streak was snapped, but today's a perfect day to get the win streak back. I do trust this Clippers team to do so, and I think attacking in the paint is going to be a big reason they end up winning this game today. They also have to defend around the three. Well, like I said, that's a big game plan in today's game. They have to defend the three very well. And on offense, you need to see more pick and roll. James Harden and Ivica Zubac have been unreal together with the pick and roll. That has been something that's been working for this Clippers team, and they have to continue to do that on offense. Zoo looks like a much better player now than he did over the last couple seasons because James Harden has made him a lot better. And James Harden's been great as well. The Clippers need a big game from him today without Kawhi Leonard. And this is why you make that trade. You go out and make that trade to get James Harden because you know if there's ever an injury to Russell Westbrook or Paul George or Kawhi Leonard, you have James Harden as an insurance piece that can take over a game, and that's instant offense to carry offense on any night where if somebody's out or if the offense is stagnant, you have a guy in James Harden who can create his own shot and get looks for his teammates. And that's something he's done for the Clippers. So I'm excited for today's game. The Celtics starting lineup will have Jason Tatum. Like I said, he'll be playing today. It'll be Derek White and Drew Holiday as the backcourt with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford as the wings in the center in the starting lineup. And then you have James Harden, Terrence Mann, Paul George, Amir Coffey, and Ivica Zubac as the starting center there for the Clippers in the paint. So that's a solid lineup for the Clippers. Have some size there, have some good defense, obviously have some hustle there. And I'd expect Russell Westbrook to get some more minutes today, considering Kawhi Leonard will be out. I'm hoping we get to see some more Bones Highland at some point, but not too sure if today is going to be the day he gets an opportunity. But I'm expecting the Clippers to still make this a game. I know they're underdogs without Kawhi Leonard. I still believe in this team, still believe they can get a win. Ty Lue's been great with his rotations, even though he's obviously cut some guys out of the rotation that I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of PJ Tucker. I'm a big fan of Bones Highland. Both of those guys have been cut out of the rotation. But the Clippers are winning games, 14-4 over the last 18 games, so I can't really complain too much just because we're winning games. But at some point, I would love to see Bones Highland get a couple more minutes. Not sure if today will be the day, unfortunately, even with Kawhi Leonard being out. Even with Paul George out, Bones Highland didn't get many more minutes. It seems like they're just going to run their 8 or 9 man rotation that they've been running with. We'll see what happens in today's game. I think the Clippers get a win. I'm going to predict a score of 128-121. Clippers get the win. I think Paul George has a big game. I might be wrong about this. It might be wishful thinking, but I'm not going to take the Clippers to lose this game. Everybody knows I grew up a Celtics fan, and then I converted to being a Clippers fan because of Paul George over the last 2 or 3 seasons now. So I'm not going to pick against the Clippers since they're my team now, but it'll definitely be a fun game to watch considering I grew up a Celtics fan, and obviously all my friends are big Celtics fans. They'll give me a little smack talk if the Clippers lose this game. But at the end of the day, it's just a regular season game. Can't really react too much, especially with 2 pieces being out, one at each side. Porzingis being out and Kawhi Leonard both being out. That's obviously a big loss for each team. But I think the Clippers get a win today. As I said, 128-121. Clippers get the win. I think they hold Jason Tatum to under 30 points today. I know he's been great this season for the Celtics, but he was battling an ankle injury heading into this game. And I think if Paul George is lined up on him, I think Paul George gets the better of that matchup on the defensive end. As for the offense, I think Amir Coffey's going to have to hit a couple threes today. He had a couple big threes over that 9-game win streak, especially in those 2 games he started in. He had a couple big threes, especially in that game against Dallas, which I believe was the 9th win for the Clippers in that 9-game stretch. Hit a big 3 with about 2 or 3 minutes left to go. Got the Clippers back the lead and the momentum. We'll see what happens in today's game. I'm definitely excited, though, and I'm excited to see what the Clippers can do on defense, because the Celtics can score points in a blink. Having Drew Holiday out there to play make, but he can also beat you driving, hitting some jump shots, hitting some threes. He's just a very dynamic player, and then you also add in a guy like Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown has been on a tear as well, been playing very good basketball over the last couple weeks, and Derek White's had a couple 28, 30-point games over the last 4 or 5 games. So I'm excited to see what the Clippers defense looks like against that lineup. Considering Terrence Mann hasn't been great offensively, the Clippers need him to try to wake up offensively, considering he's been wide open on a good amount of jump shots. If he can start hitting a couple of those, it forces the defense to come out and cover him around the perimeter, and that opens up the paint a little bit, so there's no more sagging off on him like a lot of defenders do against him. So hopefully he can hit a couple of threes. That would be a big thing for the Clippers to drag out a defender around the arc to try to cover him out there to open up the paint for James Harden on the pick and roll. As for the Clippers defense, though, I think Terrence Mann's been great defensively. Hopefully he can have a couple steals today. Try to get things going in transition. That's something Russell Westbrook's been great with, is forcing the ball in transition and picking up the pace for the Clippers on offense. Anyways, I think it'll be a great game. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. As always, I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you.